Hello and welcome back to Seconds Out. My name is Eamon Khan here. A pleasure to be joined by the one and only James Ali Bashir by the power of the internet. James, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine. Thank God. I'm doing fine.
Good to hear that you're doing well. Good to be speaking to you as well, picking your brain on some of the latest in boxing. And let's start off with some of the latest movements and shakers in boxing. That being Tyson Fury had his fight with Oleksandr Usyk rescheduled due to a cut. There was some footage that leaked regarding the cut. I wonder what was your first and immediate reaction to the rescheduled date and the footage, if you've seen it.
Well, Tyson has a reputation for being a rowdy guy. He spars off times without any headgear at all, and a fight of that magnitude, you can't take those kind of chances. And I don't know whether he had a headgear off or not, but the place where the cut is just seems so unlikely. It's just disregard for his profession, disregard for the fans. And again, I don't know actually what happened, but I do know that sometimes he spars without the headgear. So I don't know exactly what happened in this case, but more than likely it came from him being reckless.
Now, from my knowledge and experience in the game and speaking to people like yourself, it's not out of the ordinary that 2 weeks heading towards a fight of that magnitude that you would still have those hard spars. But do you feel that in camps of that magnitude that you change that a little bit and not have such hard spars before such a big fight?
Well, when you're that close to a fight, I don't suggest that you spar at all. I just suggest that you do the floor work, the heavy bag, the speed bag, the mitts, where you don't risk any kind of injury at all when you're that close to a fight. Because my thinking is that what you haven't done is going to show up anywhere. So you try to get in those last late spars is just insignificant anyway. It doesn't make sense to me. No, I wouldn't happen to do it. A fight of that magnitude, I wouldn't take that kind of risk.
There are a lot of people who were doubting the legitimacy of the cut, including Alex Krashik. When we spoke to him on Seconds Out, he said that he believed that the cut didn't happen during that footage that was presented to people. What do you feel about the cut there? Do you feel it is legitimate?
I can't say yay, I can't say nay. In the sport of boxing, you never know. I mean, you have makeup artists that can make it look like that. You have people who invest into a makeup artist that make it look like a cut. I don't know. I can't say yay, I can't say nay. It can be legit or it doesn't have to be legit. So I can understand where Usyk is coming from. I understand his position too.
What about in terms of preparing a camp now with that cut in mind? Because speaking to people and hearing from people, some of them feel quite confident that it won't factor. But me looking at it, it feels like you'd have to make some adjustments to your camp to cater to that cut healing.
My thinking is that from what I saw, it's going to take that cut 6 to 7 months to heal. It seems like one of those cuts that has to be stitched on the inside and on the outside to get the best results of healing.
So would you, if you had a fighter that was approaching a fight like this, in a camp like this, how would you change up the camp? Or would you not have your fighter in that May 18th rescheduled date?
May, that's cutting it short. That's hurrying it up. And I can see that cut reopening if they go to May. No, I would push the fight back to June or July to be sure. I personally, as a boxing trainer, I would push it back. The longer that it takes time for it to heal, the better the cut is going to be. But I don't know about May. I don't know about that.
So do you sit confident now that the fight? So you think the fight won't happen in May?
If I was the trainer, it wouldn't happen in May. I would push it back to be certain about the healing process. But that's speeding it up. I can see that cut reopening during the fight if he fights in May.
Knowing the opposition from a Fury perspective that you know so well, that being Oleksandr Usyk, it feels like from a Fury perspective, a Brit perspective as well, if you're on the side of Tyson Fury, a real worry if you're going on in with a cut with someone who's such a meticulous and accurate puncher like Oleksandr Usyk is, you're really, setting a rod for you back to win the undisputed crown when someone in the opposite corner like Usyk is so good at targeting weaknesses and targeting accurately sections of the body, right?
I see Usyk targeting that, and like I said, that I can also see that cut reopening if they go in May. It's just too soon for a cut of that magnitude.
What of the type of head guards he wore? Some people are saying that wasn't maybe appropriate for it.
You get custom-made head guards to prevent that kind of cut. With that kind of money that Tyson Fury and Oleksandr Usyk is in possession of, they can make custom-made headgears where you could prevent those kind of cuts. But sometimes the boxer himself wants to play it close. They want to make the sparring as real as it possibly can be. Me, I would spend the money to make custom-made headgears to make sure that something like this won't happen.
Was it an elbow? Did you see an elbow in the footage?
It could have been a headbutt. It could have been, a lot of times the cut won't take place from the punch. It'll take place prior to the punch or take place after the punch. It could have been an abrasion. It could have been a headbutt. It could have been elbow. It's no telling what it was. It could have been the couple of punches before that, before it came to light.
There were a lot of rumors that were coming out of the camp. There were rumors that Jai Opetaia had knocked down Tyson Fury, and Jai Opetaia had subsequently left the camp. Did any of those rumors reach you? And given that those were coming out of the camp, do you feel it made sense as to why the fight in the end got postponed?
Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, I can see that Tyson Fury getting knocked down because, like I said, he's a reckless guy. He spars recklessly. So, yeah, he gets clumsy every now and then, and that could happen. That Opetaia could have put him down. So it could be true or false.
Indeed.
But certainly not out of the question.
Not out of the question at all. We'll wait for the Fury versus Usyk undisputed fight. Hopefully it does materialize in May. James, I also want to get your thoughts on Joshua versus Ngannou. I wanted to ask you as well, given the problems that Ngannou caused to Tyson Fury, sending him down to the canvas, he's got big... Gone.
I think my personal feeling about that, I think this is a BS fight. I think that Joshua blows Ngannou out in 7 rounds. Inside of 7 rounds, I think Joshua gets him. I think Ngannou is what he is. He's a MMA fighter, and Joshua is going to take him to a different part of the sea than what Tyson Fury did. I see Joshua getting him out of there inside of 7 rounds. I'm not even excited about the fight.
What of those big long arms though? It seems like Fury had problems getting around how his wingspan, the wingspan of Ngannou. Do you think AJ will have the same problems?
Boxing skills. Joshua is going to box him better. He's going to reduce, he's going to eliminate those assets that Ngannou has by simply boxing, applying boxing skills. And that's what's going to take place in the fight. I can't really get excited about this fight. I just see Joshua being 2 levels above Ngannou. I see Joshua blowing him out of there.
Daniel Dubois is calling out Philip Herich for a heavyweight division fight.
I think it's a good look. I think it's the right time for Daniel Dubois to call him out. I would like to have seen Daniel Dubois versus Anthony Joshua. I think that Philip Herich boxing Daniel Dubois, I think that's a good fight. I think that's a really good fight. So I think that Daniel Dubois is justified in him calling out Philip Herich.
When you say it's a good fight, what are the routes to success for Daniel against Philip?
To be what he was in the Jarrell Miller fight, to be focused and be ready to box, to make the adjustments. That's what Daniel did good in the Jarrell Miller fight. He made adjustments. He came through the storm, the early storm that Jarrell put to him. He stayed focused, and he applied himself well throughout the fight. And then at the end of the fight, he stepped it up, So, yeah, I think that Daniel Dubois overcame his emotions. He's a temperamental guy, and he overcame it. And he came through. He came through in flying colors, and I think that he'll do the same thing versus Herich or anybody else at the top. I think right now is a good time for Daniel Dubois to jump in the picture.
Just jumping back to Fury versus Usyk, there is a feeling from some in the boxing world that Fury is almost trying to wait out Oleksandr Usyk, who's 37 now, getting older by the day. How long do you think that Oleksandr Usyk can continue doing what he does as the days keep going, as he gets older?
Usyk is he's a Spartan. He lives. Usyk can go to 44. He's that kind of guy. He lives clean. He's not a street guy. He's not a boozer. Of course, he doesn't run the streets with other women. He's a married guy, and he's dedicated to that marriage. So a guy like Usyk can last a long time. You can't look at the physical age of Oleksandr Usyk and think you can gauge him by his age, because though he's 37, he won't fight like 37. He fights like he's 32, 33, because he invests himself into his training. He puts a lot of work into training. So Oleksandr Usyk can go for as long as he wants to go. If he still has the desire to box after he becomes undisputed champion, because I think he beats Tyson. I think he beats him. I think Oleksandr edges him. I think somehow he wins the fight. And if he wants to keep going, I think that he can.
Just how good is his wrestling skills?
Pardon me?
Just how good is his wrestling skills?
In
wrestling skills in the clinch.
Like I said, when you look at Oleksandr Usyk, you look at the cream of the crop. He makes adjustments throughout the fight. Nothing upsets Oleksandr Usyk. He's a very, very intelligent boxer. One of the best I've seen in my years. I've been around a lot of boxers. I've been in a lot of training camps over the years. And Oleksandr Usyk is definitely one of the top 3 boxers I've seen. When it comes to surviving, when it comes to wrestling, when it comes to adaptation, he's one of the best, if not the best.
James, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. Hopefully we'll speak again very, very soon. Thank you so much for speaking to Seconds Out, sir. We'll catch up really, really soon.
Yes, it's been a pleasure. Anytime.